I kind of came across the idea for doing a little something for the channel hitting 1K, and then it happened and I still didn't know what to do, but I ended up making a post on my community tab asking for questions I should answer in a Q&A, and I actually threw in some other questions I'd like to answer just to bulk the video up a little. So let's just get into it. I will say that I'm probably just going to use some kind of gameplay for the visuals of this video because it's not really a serious one, it's just meant for those who were curious or whoever left a question for me. This first question asks, do you collect anything? I would say I collect a few things, really. The first thing that comes to mind is my mugs. I'm a big fan of drinking mugs, and I've bought quite a few over the years. Some are shaped like things, but a few of them are just decorated in cute ways. I also have quite a few stuffed animals. I'll probably show some of them on screen, but I have the majority of them put away. Some things I would like to eventually start collecting when I have the space and money for it are 90s toys and toys I've talked about on the channel, like my Furby. I would also love to collect SpongeBob stuff. I don't know if this is a deep cut or anything, but the YouTuber Comfort Cartoons has like the biggest SpongeBob / Nickelodeon collection, and I'm super jealous. I'll probably link his channel if you're curious to see what I'm talking about. This is one of the questions that I added in there. It's, who or what are you inspired by? If it isn't obvious by now, or you're new to the channel, I'm inspired by the overall idea of kidcore and nostalgiacore. I'm mostly inspired by the passing of my childhood. I have periods in my life every now and then where I'll start feeling a little homesick for it, if that's a good way to describe it. I almost hate having to look for backgrounds for my videos because seeing pictures taken in the 2000s makes me want to go back so bad. It sucks. If you were expecting a less abstract answer on this, I'm also inspired by other creators both on YouTube and elsewhere. For example, the channels Izzy's and KK Clue are hugely inspirational to me, not only because they cover similar topics to me, but also because their whole design and delivery to their work is unique to them, and has inspired the way I've tried to craft mine while of course personalizing it to my liking. Other than that, it's just generally a lot of different aesthetics. I feel like I've kind of pigeonholed myself into the kidcore / nostalgiacore thing, but I also do consider other like subgenres of it. This was a question that somebody else asked, what's your favorite song from a video game? You probably shouldn't have asked me this because I could go on about video game music practically forever. I have a few favorites because I'm an extremely indecisive person, and I have multiple favorites of almost everything, but my knee-jerk reaction is Bowser Jr.'s battle theme from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Not only is it from a game I grew up playing, but it's so goofy sounding. I'll probably play it in the video if I remember, but the runs in it are literally crazy. I think it's kind of a good representation of what's going on in my head all the time. In a completely unbiased opinion, I also really like the music from ARMS. A lot of it is so chippy and bright, and I love that all of the songs have some kind of outside influence on the way it sounds, like based on the character's backstory or their geography. Everything in Fire Emblem Warriors also bangs. It's got this mix of classical instruments with an electric guitar that drops out when you open the level map up. I'll probably put a clip in there if I remember to do that, but it's really immersive in the way that the music quiets down and gets all peaceful when you're trying to focus on directing your units. This is kind of an obscure game, but Club Penguin Game Day for the Wii also has some really silly music. I think I used one of the songs in my videos one time. Least favorite trope / favorite trope. I really don't know if this counts as a trope, but I hate shock value. I feel like it's just an excuse to write kids as overly mature, and that kind of writing always invites in some unwanted views of children, if you get what I mean. In the past, I would say that I've proved myself to be an anti, or what people would call an anti. I don't think that people should be airing out their sexual opinions on children, and I feel like shock value kind of plays into that sometimes. Like, I feel like there's a certain danger to viewing a child with a more mature lens. Like, I know a good example is, like, the South Park fandom. Like, they're very weird about drawing kids in gross ways, and it's because the show is basically, like... The show handles adult topics, like, constantly in, like, every episode, and I feel like it makes it easier to... I wrote this later down in my outline, but, I feel like that alone makes it easier for people to defend drawing them that way, because they already, like, do that themselves. Like, they already push some maturity onto themselves. I don't like it. Like, that doesn't always mean a character is subject to shock value if they're just mature. But it can be a layer to it if you're always having a child character making sex jokes and stuff like that. It's just uncomfy to me. Other than that, it's just not funny, so no offense to anyone who likes it. I just think that the people who write that kind of stuff need to grow up. And on a lighter note, my favorite trope is found family. It's kind of basic, but it's true. I think it's mostly because it's a relatively common one. It's just so good. That's why it's used so much. I've even used it in some of the stuff I've written. This person asks, what do you do in your free time? Well, other than my videos, when I have free time, I like to draw a lot. That's usually what I do. Other than that, I have a bunch of Switch games that I rotate between fairly often. Call me a nerd, but I also have a Ninjago fan season I'm working on writing out. I've been working on that for a few years now, but I would like to make it a readable story or a comic at some point once I'm happy with it. When I'm doing that kind of stuff, I kind of listen to videos while I do it, so I'll link some of the channels I've been into lately. This is another question that I added in, your favorite / least favorite internet era. I'm kind of impartial to 2010 to 2014 internet. For context, this would be like the Tumblr, mustache-themed everything, annoying orange, original Minecraft, YouTube, Mythical Morning, Smosh, your favorite Martian period. All of which are gonna make it into my videos at some point in the far future, I guarantee it. My least favorite has gotta be 2016, the Dan and Phil, Super Hulock, Steven Universe, Homestuck, Resurgence, Hetalia, Septiplier, Voltron, Galaxy Printed Clothes, Emo Band Trio, Deep Fried Unfunny Memes era, but that's based on the fact that I more consciously lived through it and had fun with it while it happened, but in hindsight it's just terrible. This person asks, what's your favorite color and what bands / songs do you like? I really like green and pink, like Cosmo and Wanda green and pink. I also really like anything involving a blue-green color. As for my music taste, it's weird in the sense that it's so basic that nobody like me could exist. I feel like I would get severely made fun of if I brought this up in front of hardcore music likers. I listen to a lot of AJR and Same Hotel. I've heard practically every Fall Out Boy song because, again, I lived through 2016 internet. I also like Imagine Dragons a lot. Please don't do the joke on me. I've already heard it a billion times. I also got a lot of my music taste from my mom, and she kind of got her music taste influenced by my grandpa, so I also listen to a lot of classic rock type stuff. I also really like the Monkees. I know that's kind of old, and I don't think that a lot of people watching this video would probably know who they are. Maybe you do, but you've probably never listened to them. There's a band called Simple Creatures that nobody's really heard of in my experience, but they have a couple of EPs out, but that was years ago, and Mark Hoppus is busy with Blink-182 again, so I'm not sure when we'll get more stuff from them. Videos you'd really like to do. I've been playing a lot of Roblox recently, so I think it would be fun to do something with that. I'm just not sure what I would do it on, what subtopic of Roblox I would be able to focus on, but hopefully I'll figure it out one day. I've also been trying to wrap my head around some kind of music-focused video. Again, I'm not sure what kind of music I would do or how I'll address it. I know for sure I want to do a video about some kids book series sometimes, like Animorphs. That's something I can do. And I've looked into doing a Doodle Bears video, but it's one of the things I've tried to write about that just doesn't have a whole lot of surface information about it, so it's something I'd have to do more digging for. I know I'm gonna have to start getting into topics that I'm not already knowledgeable about, so it scares me a little bit, but I think if I can keep my creativity a little broad, that'll help a lot. This was a user-submitted question. Your thought process while making a video and how you came up with your username / how do you pronounce it? This is a really good question because I really wanted to bring it up in a video, but I couldn't find a natural way to do it. So, for that first part, how I come up with my videos is usually oh, this thing exists. I remember that. How could I work that into a video? Then I do some researching, which is what I call literally just Googling it and reading the first few results. And if it's something that has a lot of information about it, I'll go in and decide if it's enough for its own video, or should I try to lump it into an overall idea. Some of the videos that are coming up are a little more relaxed in that way. I also like to see if that thing has any lost media tied to it that's interesting enough to again write about on its own or include in a video with multiple topics. Sometimes I do run into happy accidents that I'll be scrolling on the Lost Media Wiki and I find something that fits my kind of a genre that hasn't been covered before, and it's something I'm already knowledgeable about. Sometimes I have that happen to me. I haven't used up all of those yet, so I do have plans for them in the future. As for my username, it's one I've been using for a while, I think since about 2017. I got bored of an old gaming username I was using, so I came up with this one when I got my Switch and started doing more online stuff because the only other consoles I had were outdated, and they didn't have online stuff anymore, so I didn't really need to worry about that kind of thing. I actually had the pronunciation of it in the first version of my intro I made over a year ago. I'll show it on screen if I can get it. I don't know if I have access to it anymore, but I ended up making a new one that was more fitting of my current art style, and I just ended up forgetting about writing in the pronunciation, but it's pronounced Zephyro. Maybe sometime I'll put the pronunciation back in the intro. I've actually been wanting to fix it up a little and like redo it a little bit. This is a question that I added in because I personally feel like I should address it. Who are your biggest kins? I've mentioned kinning a few characters on here before. If you don't know what that is, even though I'm absolutely sure a good amount of my subscribers do, kinning is where you feel like you're literally a certain character, like you see yourself as that character. Some people get real serious about it, but I'm not like that, so I'm just like on the very basic level of kinning people. My biggest one by far is Male Robin from Fire Emblem. Yes, the gender matters because in some entries and like writing for female Robin, she has distinct differences in her personality from male Robin, and I'm just more like him. Other ones that are up there are Lloyd from Ninjago, Jocular from Monster High, Toy Bonnie from FNAF, Linda from Bob's Burgers, Akane from Danganronpa, and Jess from New Girl. So obviously, I am someone you should avoid at all costs. This was another question that somebody asked. Do you do the art for your thumbnails, and where can we see your art? This is another good question. Yes, all the art for my thumbnails is done by me, and my little sprite thing was also done by me. I'm getting kind of bored of them, so I need to like add some more sometime. I decided early on that I wanted to do all the art myself and include my art in my thumbnails because I had always dreamed of just being an art channel, but I was never sure that that would really turn out for me, and I would have needed more resources to start that than what I needed to start this. And like in school, like high school, I studied writing and literature and did a lot of good essays in school, so I had experience in that going into it. So I don't currently have any public accounts anywhere to like show my art off or whatever, but I've been giving some thought into making pages specifically for my art. If I do that, I will definitely mention it and link them in my descriptions and on my channel. This is another question I added in. What are your favorite shows and movies? I actually don't watch a lot of TV or anything anymore. The only two shows I somewhat keep up with are The Masked Singer and Lego Masters, which are both on Fox, but I really wish they weren't. The only other shows I would think of mentioning are things that I've already seen, like as a kid and stuff, when I had more of an attention span for it, if that makes sense. My boyfriend recently got me into Ruby. That's a show I've watched in the past year. I also watch Bob's Burgers still, actually. I don't want to just sit here and list stuff, but it seems like my only option if we don't want to be here forever. So I like the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob, not for the reasons that most people have, but just because I find the art style to be more charming, and I like it when they draw SpongeBob doing this silly face. I'm gonna add it in, but look at him. I also like the 2012 TMNT series, Blue's Clues, Bluey, so like Blue Dogs basically. The original Digimon series, so like the first season. Digimon Frontier, the first Digimon movie. I like a lot of Digimon. Yo Gabba Gabba, Rags, Imagination Movers, anything with the Muppets in it. All of the Lego movies, but not so much the second Lego movie. Glitch Text, sometimes the Dragon Prince, the DuckTales movie, like the old one just for clarity in case the new series got a movie I don't know about. Octonauts, The Dark Crystal, the Netflix series, and the movie. Practically anything off Noggin or Cubo. I love stop motion stuff to death. Wall-E, Big Hero 6, and I know nothing about it in hardly any form, but I love me some cheesy Power Rangers stuff. This is the last question that somebody asked me. Would you like to collab with anyone, and who? I would absolutely love to collab with someone. I won't spoil anything, but I've been sitting on some plans for a little bit. But other than that, whatever lost media YouTuber you can think of, those. The hard part is kind of figuring out where I lie in terms of how my content relates to others. Like, if I did a collab with someone, it would have to make sense, since I talk about basically 3 different things on my channel, between a piece of media, toys, and lost media. It's hard for me to really decide that, yeah, this is relevant to me and will benefit both people involved. I just chose lost media as a basic guide because it's part of my channel that I feel like I lack in a little bit, so having that help in a video would both give me the experience and help myself compare my work to how others in that genre get theirs done. But also, since I know roughly what I'm doing, I'm already on board with enough knowledge and experience to do a lost media video with somebody. I would also consider doing collabs with just like media commentary channels. There's a lot of them that I wouldn't consider. I'm not gonna name drop anybody, but like, yeah. I feel like me personally, like, there's not a lot of people who have an overlap in like how I feel about media personally. Like, it's either whenever you see a commentary channel like that, it's either somebody who's like really hardcore into like watching the stuff, like actually watching it. For me, it's like, I've seen this and I know what happens and I remember my opinion on it, so let's start with those kinds of things. But then usually it's like whatever I'm not super knowledgeable about, I just like go and read about it like as much as I can and use that as my grounds for and there's also the fact that I have access to like discourse on the internet about that certain type of media. I feel like that's also something that people tend to leave out. Like, I'm more focused on the reception of it rather than the thing itself, and I feel like that's kind of a unique thing to me. I don't want to brag. I hate to brag about that kind of thing, but I just feel like that's one big difference with me. That looks like it's it. I hope that most of the questions that I answered are kind of helpful to like try to understand where my headspace is at for this channel. Of course, if you had any other additional questions, you can ask them and I'll answer them or whatever. It was kind of nice to just do like a laid back video like this. So yeah, I did swap over my script writing to actual like a Google Doc. So I'm way faster at writing scripts now. I got like 3 done already. So it's like nothing should slow me down. I shouldn't have to take another break or anything unless like I get sick or whatever. Like I know I took a break for that. So yeah, just stay tuned. I will have a video out next week, and we will return to our normal programming as it said. So I hope to see you there.